Hello fellow agate lovers. Let's do another rock tumbling video. In this video we're going to take this chunk of Chalcedony that I found out at the Kokernot 06 ranch near Alpine, Texas. As you can see, it looks pretty plain, although upon closer inspection there may be some banding in there. Sure, you can see some banding right there. Maybe a little quartz deep inside perhaps. Well, how well is this thing going to tumble and polish? If I can make this really smooth, which now that I look at it, it's not going to happen because as you can see, that's a very deep hole right there. But if I can make this relatively smooth, get a good shine on it, I think this will be a beautiful tumbled stone. What do you think? Well, let's find out. Let me go ahead and get this in the rotary barrel. I'll get it tumbling in the 6090 silicon carbide grit. I'll keep it rolling until it's nice and smooth. Once it's smooth enough, I'll bring it back in here and I'll show you what it looks like before moving it on to the polishing stages. Welcome back to the video, fellow rock lovers. Check out our piece of the Kokernot 06 Ranch Chalcedony now. That's right, it's much smaller and it's still not perfect. This thing was literally tumbling in the coarse grit for close to 3 months. And after all that time, it still isn't perfect. As you can see, there were fractures in it that just were not smoothing out the way I like. Oh, sure, there's still some very faint banding in there. But overall, this is a rather dull-looking chunk of Chalcedony. Almost not worth polishing. But that's not going to happen. We're going to go ahead and see how well this thing shines up. Will we end up with at least a shiny gemstone or just a dull-looking chunk of Chalcedony? Let's find out. I'll go ahead and get this in the vibratory tumbler. I'll go for about, 10 to 12 days. I'll use 4 different grits, and after the final 14,000 grit aluminum oxide polish, I'll bring this back in here, and I'll show you what it looks like. It's been several months, but our chunk of the Kokernot 06 Ranch Chalcedony is finally finished with the polishing, and it took a good shine. We thought it might, but is it interesting? Not really. It has, well, I would say those fractures, those spalls are the most interesting thing about it. Otherwise, it's just very plain Chalcedony. You can sort of see the dirt inside of there. So as rocks go, it's just sort of average, albeit with a very nice shine. And that is one of my goals, is to make these nice and shiny. See, it has a reflection on it. But otherwise, I guess you see those little tiny, they almost look like birds flying right there. That must be a result of the coarse grit stage, the pounding of these rocks against each other. I can get rid of that if I take my time when I do the 220 stage in the vibratory tumbler. If I leave this rock in for a week or more in that stage, it normally cleans that up, but I don't worry about it. It actually looks kind of cool right there. Do you remember the Alfred Hitchcock movie, The Birds? That looks like a bunch of birds swarming us right there, doesn't it? There's a few of them there. So other than the little fracture birds, this rock is not too interesting. I hope you liked it anyway. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. And be sure and check my other videos for more like this. Thanks again.